No,
Okay.
he not.
I mean, I just wanted to finish that thought. And then go.
Live. We are live, guys. Hey, y'all, what's up? Welcome to the Real Recognized Real Talk radio show. I'm your girl, Franchella, the host.
I'm your co-host, one of the co-hosts, Lynette. Hey.
My name's
I'm the other co-host, TL.
And I'm the fourth co-host, Stacey. What's up?
What's up? What's up? What's up? Yes.
Hey, what's good?
What's going on?
I'm excited about our show today. Of course, we have some awesome, amazing guests sitting in the green room right now. Yes. But before we bring them up, y'all know what tonight is, right?
Oh yeah.
The presidential debate. The presidential debate.
Politics. Tell you, you sneeze and you snooze at night. No, I just want to finish that last thought. I was saying that, the government is made up of individuals. So you're right. One person doesn't have all of the power, which is good. We don't want that. But at the same time, the group of people makes the difference. So you still have to, support the person that most closely lines up to your perspective. So
I would agree with that if the people that were in our government, senators, and all of that, if they weren't all full of shit, then it would be different. But there's really no difference between the Democrat and the Republican, because they all work for the same people and the same lobbyists.
It shouldn't be.
And it really shouldn't be. But the fact is that it is.
Exactly.
It's always been, though.
It's another form of separatism.
But there is a difference, though. Okay, look at it this way, though. So although we agree that lobbyists make a difference, lobbyists have
a clown show.
Well, no. Let me ask a question.
It's an important.
We can all agree
into a clown show.
It's theater. It's theater. It's
theater
for the
prior to the last president, it wasn't theater.
Right now, you agree. Trump helped to make it theater
before the last president.
Trump helped to make it theater, but again, you still need government. There's still a need for government.
Absolutely.
And although we can agree that lobbyists make a difference, but again, let's bring it to what the topic we were talking about, abortion. There's some lobbyists that say that, okay, we want abortions to be illegal totally. They're overwhelmingly donating to Republicans. But then the other lobbyists are saying we want abortion to be a choice. They're supporting overwhelmingly Democrats. So as you go to vote and consider who you're going to vote for, you have to vote for the person or the party that more closely align to your morals and your principles.
Correct.
What if neither one of them align to my morals and principles?
That's a good point, Nike. But
everything that's going on around the world and all of the things that they have to decide on or make choices of don't align with your life,
like at all, in no way, shape, or form.
Yeah.
I'll give you a good for instance.
Okay.
All right. So Democrats are currently in control, right?
No. Okay. Right.
Yeah.
My fault.
We just sent, well, not just, but we sent $300 billion to
Ukraine.
To the Ukraine, right? While we have people in our own country here that are sleeping in tents, can't eat. We're letting people in, these migrants in over the border, and now they're taking over like Aurora, Colorado, Queens, New York, and other places, right?
Right. I just want to add context to what it is.
What I'm saying is, like, how does that benefit my life or your life?
I just want to add context to this for everybody just tuning in. Thank y'all for tuning in to the Real Recognized Real Talk radio show. Behind the scenes, we were having a conversation about politics and abortion and the presidential debate. So right now we're just following up and adding, just to add context so y'all won't say, what are they talking about? That's where the conversation came from.
Real Recognized Real.
Real Recognized Real.
Well, You know, Terry. Now you talked about the migrants and sending the money over to Ukraine. Right. This is what I'll say to that. We learned our lesson about being keeping everything isolationist. We learned that in the 30s. In today's world, and we also learned that lesson in 9/11. If we don't pay attention to what happens outside of our borders, especially in today's time, the first war, it was at the 40s. The Hitler, that was in the 30s. Hitler was over in Europe. No. Listen. I'm talking about being an isolationist. We cannot afford in this day and time to be isolationist. We did it in the 30s, and we allowed Hitler to run all over Europe. He grew. He went into Poland. Then he went into England. And we realized that if you don't do something about those type of people, eventually he would have taken over the whole Europe and then come after America. So in this day and age, you cannot be an isolationist. You have to pay attention to what happens worldwide. Even if you're looking at the economy, not the economy, the birds and the bees. What is that? The
sex.
When you look at ecologically, the wind, the birds, the trees. If you allow a country, those countries that are out there polluting, and you don't help them to stop the pollution, if you have the wherewithal to do that, that wind is not going to remain over their country. Eventually, it blows over to you. Right. So again, we cannot, especially in this day and age, be live in a vacuum.
Right.
Live in a vacuum. You have to pay attention to what happened outside your borders. Right. That will happen with the Taliban.
Right. Because right now it might not affect you personally, but you never know the aftermath of what may impact you down the line. So before it gets to that, what Stacey's saying, you want to get involved. You
have to.
Now you also want to take care of home. To your point, you also want to take care of home as well. So I agree with you wholeheartedly when you talk about all the money that we put into other countries that we actually need here. So I totally agree with that as well. I see all sides,
It has to be a balance.
It has to be a balance.
That's the thing. It's not balanced.
Well, but you saying it's not a balance, but you would have to now what you're talking about, people living on the streets and in tents and everything, you have to take a look at what the budget is spent on social services here in America. That's housing, that's subsidized housing, that's subsidized food and everything else. That's welfare. So if we sent $300 billion to Ukraine, but we spent $2 trillion on social services here, then that's not saying that we're not attempting to address the issues here.
Correct.
Right. And some of those people though, Terry, some of those people want to be on the street. They refuse to go inside. I've heard the story.
Correct.
They refuse to go inside. And unfortunately as well, we have so many people who are shysters, who are taking advantage of the system, those who don't need it as much as somebody else. So now that other person's not getting it because this person, American over here, is taking advantage and getting that money that somebody else. So it's like, it is what it is, unfortunately. But I get your point. I understand that. But we, like Stacey said, we can't just say, all right, forget all the rest of the world out there. We're going to just take care and only handle America because there are going to be a lot of consequences and things that happen to us. That we would need them as alliance to help us, but we're not going to help anybody.
And you don't know in terms of business behind the scenes. We don't know what we're getting, you know what I mean? We don't know if we're engaged in business with these other, which I'm sure we are, because as you can see, the clothes come from different places. Say that again. Say that again.
You guys are okay with them sending that kind of money to other countries. And
no, we're not saying we're okay with it.
I saw a commercial yesterday that was asking about feeding. It was like one of those You ever see those commercials where they be abusing dogs and shit like that?
Yeah.
Well, they had that same commercial. Well, not the same commercial, but a similar commercial talking about hungry kids in Ukraine. I'm like, didn't we just send them 300 billion?
Yeah.
Why are they hungry?
Yeah, it's tough, Nike. And you know what? And I agree with Frantella and Lynette. It's not that I disagree with what you're saying, because you know you have to take care of home first. But I'm just saying that we don't exist in a vacuum. We have to pay attention to what's happening outside of these borders.
I never said that, but I'm just saying, like, there has to be some kind of accountability for all of our tax dollars.
Agreed.
But that still doesn't mean don't vote.
Correct.
Yeah, the whole moral of this story is there's still, despite what's going on in the world and other countries, that still does not mean that you should not vote. You should.
This gives you a say.
Now, but we can go on and on with this topic forever. But we do have,
and this is the most important year, Terry. Like, this is the most important.
So what? Okay. The debate is tonight, right? So I'm
it is at 9 p.m. Please make sure y'all tune in.
What policies have you heard from either candidate that you like? Oh, okay, I can.
I'll give you one right off the bat. At some point, I'm going to want to purchase a house. Kamala Harris and the Democrat is pushing for a $25,000 credit for people to purchase new houses. Exactly. Right. That's just one.
And for at school, student loans. My kids in debt like crazy. Correct. You know, and they can't even find a job to pay these student loans off. So they're trying to, you know, make that affordable for kids, or give them credit towards it.
They've been in power for 4 years. Why haven't they already done that?
Well, again,
the Republicans keep stopping. The president can't do it all himself.
Right. That's what I mean. So how is it going to be different now? Once the election is over, how is that going to be different?
Well, first of all, Terry, that's why I always say that not only is the presidential election important, but all other elections as well.
Right.
Because if we take over the House and we take over, you know, certain areas, the president will have more authority to be able to push through what he wants or she wants to be. In this case, she wants to push through.
That's right.
But you know what? We're going to stop the conversation right there, because we got our peoples in the queue. Nice. And we're getting a little heated. I don't want them to see me ugly. So let me bring
it ugly about it's only politics.
Right.
Leave it up to Terry, boy. Just leave it up to Terry.
Exactly. I love it. I love a good debate. Trust and believe. I love it. But let's bring up, we have our Dr. Clark.
Hi, Dr. Clark.
Good evening, doctor.
Good evening.
Yeah, we have her son, Chris Clark Jr.
Good evening.
How y'all doing?
Hi, everybody.
Hi.
Well, going.
Welcome to the Real Recognized Real Radio.
Yes. So I'm gonna give you a proper introduction, and then we'll go right into it. So welcome Chris Clark Jr. and Dr. Myava Clark to the Real Recognized Real Talk Radio Show. Chris is the son of Dr. Myava Clark, and collectively they are founders of Collaborative Advancement for Social Emotional Needs, LLC, which they will talk a little bit more about later in the show. They also have branched off and to create several different things under the same umbrella: an outreach, wellness academy, education program, and as well as an array of courses that they offer too, which they'll talk more about as well. So Dr. Clark earned a PhD and is also a wife and a mother of 2 children. She developed a passion for helping children and parents based on her own experiences with her children. She is also an author of several books, and both are gracing the cover of the Love Exquisite magazine for September. So Dr. Clark and Chris Clark Jr. also have a fundraising campaign for keeping kids safe online, which they will talk more about as well. So welcome. It's a big bio, so I had to shorten it. But welcome to the Real Recognized Real Talk Radio Show.
Welcome, y'all.
Thank you.
Kudos to the both of you on all your hard work about helping people with learning disabilities. It is so important.
Yes, it is.
So tell us a little bit about how you developed the passion to do what you do, and that was question is for you, my Ava, and then Chris, tell us about your experience as well.
Okay. Well, thank you so much for having us. We really appreciate this opportunity. Lynette, it has been great connecting with you, and I'm just grateful for you and the opportunity again. Um, First of all, I am by trade a respiratory therapist and a college professor. And how I got started on this journey, and I'm sure Chris will elaborate. But this was actually his idea. Chris struggled in school, socially and academically. So he had some struggles. And when he graduated, my husband asked him, "What do you wish you had in school that you didn't have that could help kids today?" And so he said he wished someone would have taught him how to be appropriate online. Fortunately, I'll let him share that portion, but fortunately, we had a village, and he can go into that village. But where Kason came about is he asked me to help him develop a social media app that could help kids today that may not have the village he had. And I'm going to let him speak, and then I'll pick it back up so I don't steal all of his thunder.
Okay.
Thank you for letting me talk. Yeah, like my mom was saying, I struggled a lot in school. Like as far as like, I struggled following conversations. Follow like it took me a long time to really connect with my parents, and then it transformed when I became a teenager. It switched into the online world where I would just add the wrong people, get into countless debates, and growing up in high school, like I was lucky enough to have my dad and his buddies being like, "Hey, Chris, you gotta edit this," or when my dad's friends would text my dad, be like, "Did you see what Chris posted?" And at the time, as a teenager, it was annoying that I would get that like random text while I was at lunch or in class. And fast forward to when I was in college, one day my dad like sat me down and was like, "What do you wish you had when you were coming up?" And I didn't know at first, and then I said it'd be cool if there was a platform that like kind of had the backing, had like a support based online system, and that's when I brought that idea to my mom. And this is kind of like a thank you to my dad and his buddies, and also like helping the next generation know what my parents and I didn't know.
Right.
Nice.
Right. It's important because I think that a lot of students that they go through classes, they have either not undiagnosed learning disabilities and they kind of label them as bad children, or they're not intelligent children, but that's not the case. So that's why they have to do assessments to actually get them the help that they need. So I applaud you for being an advocate for, because you have to be, and you have to be your own self advocate, and then mom and dad, they also have to advocate for you to make sure that you're getting the education that you need. And I also applaud you that you didn't stop at high school, you went on to college, you know what I mean? So you show you're a perfect example that you can do anything that you are willing to work hard enough to do, you know what I mean, with the right resources and the right support system. So it's commendable that you even had that idea to create cases. So,
Thank
Right.
you.
So if I may jump back in so when Chris asked me to help him develop this app, I'm biology and education. I have no experience in the computer world, but because my son wanted to do something positive, and because I'm just his mom, and I'm like, yeah, I'll help. I had no idea what I was doing, but I prayed. I asked God for help. The first thing I did was went to the computer to see what the gap was in education, and I came up with social and emotional learning. and I decided to marry the two. So it's social emotional learning or education meets social media. And that's how we came about. And the collaboration piece came in because we consulted a, a, a social emotional learning expert, general education teachers, speech therapists, and a physical therapist, and how we developed our content. So we really collaborated to really meet the child as holistically as possible. And so that's where our courses came from, that collaboration. So I just wanted to add that to it.
And I just wanted to kind of echo what Lynette said. Kudos on YouTube for seeing the need and then looking to do something about it. And like she said, Chris, that's great of you to see that want others to not maybe have more resources than you had because you kind of went through it. So again, kudos to you. But I have a question. So this is an app that you can download onto your phone, or is it software that you put onto a computer?
Okay. Well, it's by invitation only.
Okay.
Because we don't want it to predators to get in there.
A bullying type of situation.
Yeah. So this is really a training tool. So again, it's by invitation only. It can either be directly parents reaching out to us and we put them in a cohort, or for stakeholders. It could be for teachers, or psychologists, social workers who have group therapy and they want to do the training and teaching the children. So again, it was really designed for stakeholders to have a tool to actually educate kids in a controlled environment. But because parents were interested and curious, I said, why don't we just have our own cohort and have teachers who can facilitate a course if the kids didn't come in with the class. And the way it's set up and designed, it actually is set up where if it was a special education class, they could use it as their learning management system. And instead of doing Canvas or one of the traditional platforms, they could use it where we have all these filters and things in place and set up for bullying identification and everything. And they could actually use it as that kind of a tool.
That's awesome. And I've used Blackboard and Canvas, and a lot of universities use both of them when they're doing online teaching. I don't know if you have an integration piece, but if you don't, I would create one, think about creating one so that they can put it into their Canvas courses or their Blackboard courses for students who have learning disabilities, integrated into Canvas, because they do have different programs that integrate into Canvas as well as Blackboard. And if that's something that they could pay to add on, of course you charge them, like everybody else, and it would be even bigger.
Right.
Yeah, and see, here's what's unique about us right now. And first of all, I don't know how big this is going. I don't know where this is going.
It's a need.
This is out of my hands in terms of what God has in store. But what I will say is when we put it together from the very beginning. So I created it on a third party platform. Okay. And Chris and I went to the school district where he went to school and presented it to them with the special education department. And they told us what they liked. They told us how we can improve it. We went back 3 times and we kept improving it until we outgrew the third party service. So we hired web designers. And when I tell you I'm really, really proud of what we created, because there wasn't a model for us to pattern after. We had to come up with, this is a blue ocean. We were making the rules as we went along. And so we have in this platform, and I will share with you later how a video on actually how it works, so you can really see how intricate it is. But we have 2 different things. We have bullying identification, where every day the kid, and it's geared for children 9 to 13, because we really want to get them young. And if you have a mature child like 7, then it could be for them. And if you have an immature, socially immature child that might be 15, it could be for them. So when I say 9 to 13, I'm going off of cognitive ability.
Right.
Okay. So every day they'll get a piece of information on bullying, either how to report it, how to identify it, whether they're the bully after they read it or not. It's really to help these kids, right? And then the next day, that information will go away and they get a question to see if they actually retained it and if they learned. So that's one part. And then it has scaffolding. So every week, the skill set gets a little more challenging for these questions. So the first week, we only remove a word. So they just have to pick the right word. The next week is 2 words. The third week is a phrase. The fourth week, they don't have any clues. They get half of a sentence and then they have to fill it in. And then the 5th week, they have to construct their own sentence. So we're building skills with how to interact online in a professional way, as well as how to identify and report bullying. And the final thing is, when you were talking about Blackboard and Canvas, I'm a program director of a Bachelor of Science in Respiratory Therapy program. So that's what I do. I'm an online professor, right? So I have the same thing that I require my college students for these kids. The teacher asks a question every day. That's not the quiz question. And then the students have to answer the question, and then they have to respond to 2 other peers. So we're teaching them the same skills you have to learn in college. So it's really
is needed. I taught as a college professor as well at LaSalle University. I taught several online classes, in person and face to face, and we used Blackboard at some point, and then we transferred over to Canvas. And I know I called it netiquette, like the cyberbullying. I called it netiquette. So it's like how to appropriately engage with other students online. So it's definitely a need, because a lot of people hide behind what I call the thumb bullies. The thumb bullies, you know. So it is definitely a need for what it is that you're doing. And again, I applaud you, but let people know how can they access it if they want to, they want to talk with you, or they want to talk with Chris and they want to implement this, or they want to go through it themselves. Tell people how they can do that.
You want to talk, Chris?
Can you repeat the question one more time?
Give them the website.
Access. Oh, okay, I got you. I just couldn't hear it clearly, but
it's okay.
Our website is KingstonLLC.com, and we're Kingston LLC on Facebook, Instagram, and LinkedIn.
And spell it for them.
Right.
CASENLLC.com.
Yes.
I have a follow-up question, Chris. I'm just curious to know, like, how was your college experience?
Right.
It was a bit of a struggle at first, like just getting like proper accommodations. Like the first couple months was definitely a struggle, like adjusting, and well, eventually I wanted to make in the right friend group, and it eventually got better.
Chris, and also a question for you. So do you notice the difference since you were able to get through the program, and as you move through the program, is it helping you on the outside world also, just as you're outside walking around and interacting with other people? Is it a help with you in that arena also to do that?
Yeah, as much as it's helping my mom, it definitely helps me even like learn stuff about social medias and stuff that I didn't know.
Good.
And and at 26, it's even making me better, and I know it'll help. That's that's why I'm so confident that we'll help other students out.
Nice. Doc,
Absolutely.
It'll
so
help them
Doc,
more.
Yes.
so what is your goal? Where do you want this to go?
Okay. My goal is to get into schools to help inform and enlighten these children younger, because the purpose of the courses that we have 4 courses. As Lynette was telling you, it's different components.
Right.
So it's really you get in where you fit in.
Right.
But the courses that we've developed are bullying, social emotional development, bullying identification, mental health development, and social media readiness. And we call it the 4-module blueprint.
Okay.
And the purpose is, I believe strongly that if we empower our children to be self-confident, self-aware, to have self-management and good decision-making skills, then they would be more likely to know their value and not take the stuff from other people, right?
Mhm.
And then I believe also that even if someone bully you, that you don't have to become a victim.
Correct. I agree with that totally.
Yep.
Now, does the public school program have a program that they're using that's similar to this currently? Or
Not that I'm aware of, and we are at a place now that I'm really just getting to go into the schools, and we've been invited
okay,
to a couple libraries and things, so we're really getting out there
good.
now. One of the things that Chris and I did is when Josh Shapiro was the Attorney General for Pennsylvania,
Hmm.
we went out with his office and they taught the dangers of social media, and we taught the kids how to do it appropriately. So that's something that we're looking within the next couple of
Good.
weeks to present to the governor's office and
Good.
send the pictures and things
Right.
that when we went out
Good.
there when he was the AG.
Good. Good. Good.
Okay.
That's the route.
Awesome. So,
So
so the thing of it is like those kids that are bullies. I truly believe that a lot of them that are bullies is starting from inside of their own home, and they're taking
absolutely.
whatever situation that they have within in their home and bringing it out and taking it out on other kids. You know,
Absolutely.
and it'd be nice if piggybacking off of that is something for these adults, because it's sad because it's not
It
always,
does start there.
yeah,
I'm so excited that you brought that up, because everything we teach the kids, we have for the parents.
Right.
Good.
To my knowledge, we're one of the only people that, I won't say we're the only, I don't know of the other ones that are doing it.
Right.
But every course, like that social emotional development and the bullying identification, I
Right.
cloned the same thing for the parents,
Good.
because I feel like, and Chris agreed with me,
Yeah.
but that they will be able to continue the conversation further if they understood what the kids were learning.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
It's
Uh,
reinforcement.
Reinforcement.
yep.
Good work, y'all. That's excellent work. Keep
So,
plugging away at it. You know,
One of
thank
the
you.
one of the things I also want you to talk about is because raising a child with a learning disability, for some parents, they are in denial about, if the teacher calls and says, oh, your kid is acting out in class, or your kid is then they label them as bad,
Right.
or they put them in, somewhere where. So talk about that. Like, how do you get parents to actually take interest in their children and what it is that they need to know about their children and how they learn best? Because I believe that any child can learn with the right resources. I don't care what the ability or disability is. If they have the right resources and a good instructor, they can learn.
Well, first I will say, I'm glad you asked that. And I'm very passionate about that. So I wrote a book, and it's called Help Support for Parents of Children with Learning and Thinking Differences to Feel Confident, Capable, and Fulfilled. This book was written about my journey with my son. And I'm very transparent in this book, to the point where my husband originally didn't want the book to come out because he thought that we're naturally private people, but when God gives you a call,
absolutely,
and tells you to do something,
Right.
you have to put all that pride aside.
Absolutely.
You like none of that mattered. And what I quickly understood was people can't get healed from a half truth.
Right.
Or part of a story. So I had to go all in, and I'm very transparent in this book. So when my husband, he was reluctant, when the first person that read the book when I finished was Chris. Tell him what you said.
I said I can't remember fully what I said, but basically I was like, it shocked me just reading it. Like I found pieces of myself that I was missing, and I didn't. And half of the stories in the book, I didn't really know the full behind the scenes like details. I don't even remember stuff from when I was like in high school and going to meetings and hearing certain stuff. But like some of the stuff, it shocked me. And when I first read it, I to be honest, I cried a little because it was connecting me with me. Like if that makes any sense.
But that truth needs to be out there because other people will be going through the same thing.
Absolutely.
And it gives them sometime the strength to move on. Like even what you said earlier, Chris, the fact that you talk about what you went through and how it helped you. Somebody that might be going through the same thing, that are a little shy or don't want to say anything, they won't. But to hear you talk about what you went through and how you came out on the other side, it's very helpful.
Exactly.
Right. You would be surprised at how many people are actually going through the same things that you're going through, and they don't have an outlet, or they may think that they're the only ones going through.
Exactly. Or they don't understand it and know how to process it. So I'm so excited that you actually are doing this. It's important. It is important.
It's very important because I always say, I mean, I love the book is, I love that cover. Awesome.
Thank you.
And how can people purchase your books? Because she has about 4 of them.
Yeah. So you could go to our website, www.casenllc.com. That's CASENLLC.com. And in the drop down, you'll see books by Dr. Myava Clark. And this book is on there along with the others. Out before I leave out, before we get off, I'll show you the latest one. But just to finish telling you about this book before I move on.
Okay.
This book was written from a parent perspective, but as an educator, I did a literature review. There are over 100 references in this book for parents. Every chapter, it deals with a personal story that Chris and I encountered, my husband, what we had to navigate. And then I did a literature review to see what the experts were saying, so the parents could have a resource. They have my opinion, and they got the opinions of the experts. And then they could go right to the source where I got it from and look it up. I did everything IEP in here. So I tell you who's at the table, what the parents can do, who they can bring, and I define all the terms. In this book, I even have a glossary in the book of all the terms I defined throughout the book, so they can go to the website, go under library resources, and print it out and take it to the meetings with them.
That's great.
Then the reason why I got excited when you said, what about parents? In here, I talk about how we even got to the point where we looked for help. Everybody was telling us everything was fine. We didn't need to get help because kids grow at their own pace. But my husband has a brother whose son was 6 weeks older than Chris. I have a brother who had a son 3 months. His brother was 3 months. My brother was 6 weeks older than him. So we could see things were a little bit different with the motor skill and things. So we actually advocated to get them tested and checked out. It was us. But in this book, what parents will find is, even though we're both college educated, and all, it was overwhelming for us.
Right.
The process was daunting, but I talk about how we got through that and what supports are there. And I just don't want them to feel alone.
Nice.
And I have had people read the book that was in denial because people got it for them. And then they reported back and said that after reading the first couple of chapters, they went and got help and got their kids tested.
Nice.
That's why I said start here. If you know anyone that's in denial, look at my journey. I'm very transparent. And then I'm happy to report that when my husband finally read the book, he loved it. And he said, Myava is going to help so many people. And he is actually my number one fan now with the book.
Well, he's number two.
Chris said, he's
number one.
So we're going to make sure that we put the title of the book and the website link on the Real Recognize Real page. So we'll make sure that we do that.
Absolutely.
Can I say something else?
Please.
Last book, the fifth book that just came out, it's just coming out. It's called The Parent and Caregiver's Guide: Overcoming the Odds of Disabilities, Medical Challenges, Mental Health Disorders, and Trauma. What's special about that book that's different than this book is I have 12 co-authors with me. Half of them are parents telling their stories like mine. They wrote a chapter. The other half are professionals answering the parents with resources. It's a really nice collaborative effort. And it is for some of the disabilities and things that parents struggled through to be what they were. It's the most positive, uplifting book you can imagine. And so I would like you to recognize that one as well, because it's not just my story. It's the story of 13 people in total. And one of the other things,
your website as well. This on the website as well.
It will be this week. The latest two aren't on there yet, but they will be.
Good. Okay. Yeah. So once
I also want to, before you go, I also want to talk to you. Well, if anybody has any other questions, but I also want to make sure that
I don't have a question. I just want to talk about. So it seems like your book and it covers a lot, and your app is covering a lot, but does it kind of speak to those children who are introverts? Because and the reason why I'm saying that is because I believe my daughter was an introvert, but it kind of caused us to get her tested because she wasn't doing well in school and she wasn't picking up stuff in school. So we went through the process of having her tested at St. Joe's University, and she came out fine with the test. And I don't know what that did to her, but she wound up becoming the valedictorian of her high school. She went on to college. She got her master's. Like, so it was like at that point, education was like, she had to do it. It was like she had to prove something to us. You know what I mean? So she just like went hard. But going away to college kind of opened her up more of being, I wouldn't say she's an extrovert, but in between. She was no longer shy, hiding behind everybody. Like her brother and sister would be out with, and they have friends, but she would just stay by my side, and it was different. It was like she did like a 360, a whole transformation. So I'm saying that because sometimes these learning disabilities also are, it could be from actually having one, actually from being bullied,
Right.
or just being an introvert, someone who is not social and don't know how to engage, either with the teacher as well as the classmates. So
And I'm gonna answer that a little bit, but then I'll let you answer that. As a person who taught online classes, most people that are introverts enjoy online learning because they're not the student that wants to raise their hand. They feel like they're more actively engaged in a setting where they're in their own environment and where they feel safe as opposed to in a classroom. So I think that because her classes are also online, it could help in that aspect for introverts. But go ahead, I'll let you speak to that also.
Well, first, I'm glad you mentioned that because that's not actually something that I tackled yet. But I will be sure, especially in the social emotional development course where we talk about how people are different. We point out the differences in people, and we talk about how they physically look different, how they have different careers, like so they could identify. And that way, when they think of themselves as different, they don't feel bad because we're all different.
Right.
And then we talk about, I point out the strengths and everybody, and make sure everybody name their strengths, and then everybody have to name their weaknesses. So when not to compare what you think is a weakness or your inability to what you think of someone else's strength or ability, I help leverage the playing field there because we don't want that comparison.
Right.
But I will look into adding that the talking piece about being an introvert. And I would be remiss if I didn't give Chris the opportunity to talk about the chapter he wrote in this book. And this is on our website too, Living All Out. Chris actually is an author as well.
Nice.
He wrote a chapter in that book. So, Chris, would you like to tell them
Nice.
the
Congratulations,
title?
Chris.
Tell them the title of your chapter, and then if you want to
All
say
right.
anything.
My title is Feed the Eyes, Don't the Eyes Feed You. And I jokingly one day told my mom that it's like the substantial sequel to Help, but just the updated version. But 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 my chapter talks about my mental health struggles, um, depression, anxiety. Talk about I went through a bad athletic injury, and I also talk about the loss of my grandfather and how it affected how his loss affected me.
I was really impressed and proud of the fact that through all of his struggles, my son is a very deep person. And for him to talk about anxiety and depression as a young Black man, I
Oh
was
yeah.
extremely impressed and proud of that because I didn't read his chapter till he was done.
That's good.
Right.
You should be proud. That's
I,
good. Good job, Chris.
yeah,
yeah,
I wanted her to not even know what it's about until it was out. And like I told stories that I didn't necessarily tell her, like because for years and years I kept a lot of stuff in, but but writing the chapter like let me like let everything just out there.
Good.
yeah.
Nice.
So thank you guys
It's
so much.
important. Before
And
you go, though, I want you to talk about your fundraising campaign.
Okay. Yes, we have. It's a Kickstarter. It's called Case and Connect Initiative, and I would love for everybody to just go on there and view the initiative, see what we're doing. If it resonates with you, if you believe in what we're doing, then please support us with a donation, any size, to help us move the mission. Two things we didn't really get into If you go to our website, again, www.casonllc.com, and you go to About Us, you will see the video there for the Kickstarter. But if you go on to Kickstarter, you'll be able to read and see everything. We also have a newsletter if you want to follow us, want to see what's going on. We get scenarios from parents that we answer. I answer from my perspective, and Chris answers the questions from his perspective of a child when he went through it, as well as reflection from now. So we try to give a really holistic approach to really helping people. And we do outreach. We go to community centers, we go to schools, we go to churches, anywhere where we're invited to speak to kids. We do workshops, and whatever you want, we will tailor it to meet your needs.
Nice.
Right.
Thank you.
Nice.
Thank you both.
Yes, thank you.
Thank you. And keep up the
Right.
good work, Chris.
Yes.
Yes. Keep it up, Chris.
Oh, and you too, Doctor.
Thank
Dr.
you
Clark.
both for
Oh, yeah.
all that
Yeah,
you
you
do.
too.
Thank you.
All
And
right.
thank you guys for
Thank
the
you.
wonderful opportunity. We appreciate it.
You're
welcome.
welcome.
Thank you.
Thank
For
thank
being
you
on
for
the
giving it.
Recognized Real Talk Radio Show. We applaud you and will support as well. We'll also post it on our Facebook watch page also. So make sure that y'all go out and visit CASENLLC.com. So make
Thank
sure
you
y'all
again.
support as
Take
well.
care now.
Thank you,
All
Chris.
right.
Thank you.
you.
Bye-bye.
All right. Bye-bye.
Thank you.
So it's important work that they both do, and I felt the need to bring them on so that they can share their story, because it's a lot of people, like I said, that are in denial about some of the things that their children are going through, and as a result, their kids don't get the proper education that they need to flourish and succeed and be successful in life. So Chris is a perfect example that you can be successful no matter your ability or disability.
Nice.
So I just want everybody to be encouraged.
Right. That was definitely positive. You know, I mean, and like you said, though, the challenge is going to be to get the word out, let everyone know what's available, and also the fact that he can live as a testament as far as what he went through and how it benefited him.
Absolutely. And just like she said, it's not easy, but you have to be an advocate if you want to get your kid the resources that they need to be successful. Because, you know, the odds are stacked against us, period. So you really have to be your own self-advocate and have to have supportive parents to support in that. You can only win. So kudos to them as well.
All right.
So
go ahead. You guys say something?
Go ahead.
So we have about 10 minutes left.
Somebody is Night. I think that
somebody did what
soundtrack over there. He got the soundtrack going on.
I was on mute most of the show. I was
created a new song called Noise. And so
hey, no, I was on mute most of the show. I stayed on mute until I chimed in and said something.
All right, so I have a question.
I saw somebody's phone.
All right, come on with it, Stacey.
So we talked about it before. Who's watching the debate tonight? So who's gonna watch the debate, and what do you expect to see? What do you want to
watch it just for y'all?
Yay!
But wait,
listen.
All right, I got another
for our
question,
conversation
right?
for the next show.
If it's not just two sides of the same coin, how come it's only two people that get a chance to go to the debate? Did you know that there was another person running?
Yeah. Cornell West doesn't have enough votes.
Correct. Nor does the other lady, Stein.
They can't get enough votes if they're not allowed to participate.
No. But
it's the opposite. They have to get enough votes first in order to participate. So it's
correct.
Why is the system like that?
Well, I can't answer
that. See, but you have to do the groundwork and go out there and tell
the sides of the same coin.
Francesca, were you about to say something?
I'm taking a sip of my coffee because I ain't got Honestly, it don't even matter how the debate going. I know who I'm voting for. Period. Like she can say something.
I just really want you to have an open mind.
I'm really going for the entertainment because it's going to be entertaining.
It's going to be very entertaining.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying?
We have a comedian.
He goes all around the question. He never answers the question. He goes all around it.
Well, we already know that he full of shit with his stuff, right?
Like,
my thing with the other candidate, right, is like, why is she placating to black people all of a sudden? Like, I'm out here in these streets. I cook collard greens in the bathtub and all this kind of stuff. Like, come on, man. Like,
I don't think
it was okay when Beyonce rapped about having hot sauce in her pocket. It is what it is. It is what it is.
Wait, you got Megan Thee Stallion on stage at one of your. Come on now, that's
no, but Nike, no, but that's to say that she wasn't standing up for folk as in her prior roles. Right. Okay, look at this way.
We could talk about politics all night. I have some things I want to talk about before the show goes off. Okay. I want to know. I really want to know. So in trending news, there's a couple things. Tyreek Hill. I don't know if y'all saw the NFL player Tyreek Hill that got pulled over by the police the other day for driving. Right. They allegedly driving 60 miles per hour in a 40 miles per hour lane, and the cops were a little bit aggressive. I don't know if you saw the video. Did anybody see the video?
I saw the video.
I saw the video.
Didn't see the video. So what y'all think about that? And then another question I have, I know we don't have much time, but Tyrese was recently arrested for unpaid child support up to the tune of $73,000. I just want to, my question on that end was, do you think that the courts are unfair to men versus women when it comes to child support? So I know this will probably go over 8 o'clock. But
so
I'm a woman and I think it's unfair. I'm a woman, I think it's unfair.
I do too, but I just want to hear. I don't have children, but I know people that do, and I've seen the injustices in some situations. So
me having recently gone through the court system for my divorce and that sort of thing, I can tell you 100% that the court system is set up for women. Like they have no compassion. They have no, like, it don't matter what you say, it's always going to be, the woman's word, or they're always going to do more to make sure that the woman is taken care of, regardless of what the man has going on. And that's my personal experience.
Right. I agree that that is an unfair part, but I think in part it has to do with the child. Where's the child living? And most of the time, the child is in the custody of the woman.
I wasn't even talking about child support. I was talking about alimony and
the whole
but alimony and those kind of things,
assets and all that.
See, but those things though, Knight, I guess it depends on the attorney you have, but that's a simple numeric formula. They take a look at the total assets and and everything is based on the numbers.
What do y'all think about prenups?
I think
if you get married again, I'm gonna have one.
Right. Well, because if you already are established and you have all this stuff going into, right? Now, if you both have equally things going into, you might say, okay, we cool. Then whenever you don't go into a relationship or a marriage thinking you're going to get a divorce, but you say, okay, if it ever happens, then we can split down the middle because we came in equally. But if you come in with all this stuff and he or she coming in with a handful of stuff, then you might want to say, women, boo boo, we need to write. We can split everything from the day we say I do. But prior to that, then it's
You
was
leave
mine,
with what you came, I leave with what I came.
Was
And
mine,
what we got
a question, though.
we
Yours.
split
Well,
down the middle.
Well, let me
Right.
ask you a question though. If as women, if you married someone that kind of alluded to that, and as Franchella said, when you go into a marriage, you don't think that it's going to end. If a man proposed that to you, would you be saying, what kind of love is this? You know, we're not going to get divorced, and I promise I'm not going to want anything. You know, would you
better not
feel some
listen.
kind of way?
If the woman is saying all of that, trust and believe, she got an ulterior motive. She already got an ulterior motive. Because I want you. I don't care about all that other stuff. So if I sign, I will sign. I don't mind. I don't care. So if
so here's the thing. So Terry, you know what I'm saying? You see how Dr. Clark and you know her son, they put the app together because of their situation and experience, because of your situation and experience. Maybe some kind of way you can change or put a law where people don't have to go with prenups. You can just say that you only split after you get married. What did y'all get together assets after you got married? Then you ain't even got to worry about what I had before splitting that. You know, your pension or your whatever you had for years prior to that. If there's something in the court system that is a law that says that you only split when, you know, from the day that you said I do, then nobody has a problem.
Right. And it depends on the state because it differs by state. So you want to, before y'all get married out there, y'all ain't too sure. You want to read the law because after a certain 9-10 years, you know, they automatically entitled to half your pension or 80-something% of your pension. So you want to make sure, not that you go into it like, okay, it's not going to work out. But to me, marriage is somewhat of a business decision as well as love decision.
It's not somewhat.
Well, it can be a bad decision if it doesn't work out. So that's why you got to go into it with the mindset that we are now, it's a partnership.
It's a partnership.
Like a business.
It is definitely. It is. So your mom just said, which, you know, she just brought to my attention because I've heard this a lot from women. And unfortunately, sorry, Terry, you had to go through what you had to go through. But your mom said, I left with nothing. Peace of mind is priceless.
Okay, and I'm going to say this.
Mom, I told you I'd have went in that safe.
Okay,
I didn't contribute.
I know we're winding down. I know we're winding down, but okay. And this is a question. What I've heard women also say is that if the man is if they have a kids and she's taking care of the home and raising the kids, she's working also.
Right.
Is that true?
Well, I do believe that motherhood is
right. So if the marriage is dissolved,
he's taking care of the kids and the mom.
I mean, but so the question is though. So the question is, if she's raising the household while the fella's out there earning the bacon, and the marriage is dissolved, and she did that for 20 years, and she didn't go get a job, should she walk out with nothing?
No, not at all. I don't.
I think she should get something.
I don't think she has.
Yes, from that day on in a marriage. So even though she might not contribute, but from that day that you said I do, you split everything down the middle because motherhood is tough. Being home, listen, I went to work because I did not want to sit home with my kids. Listen, I had to get out the house. Like it drove me crazy. Like that's hard work. I do not want to sit in the house with, so and also
fathers know because they don't either.
Yeah, because fathers also like y'all can walk out the door and just go to the store or go wash a car or whatever, you go to your boy house and you just walk out. But when we ready to do something, we got to always ask y'all, can you watch Johnny and Melissa? Can you watch? We always got to ask, but y'all the fathers, but we got to ask y'all.
Because you're supposed to ask.
Right.
Because
both.
You're in a wife in a marriage is in a submissive, is supposed to be in a submissive posture. Now, two people can't wear the pants in a relationship.
True.
No, we did.
Right. Okay. True. Okay. So with that being said,
Francine, I thought Francine was
I got my tights on right now. Okay.
but to what you just said. Okay, so if that's the case, if she's staying home to rear the children, then he shouldn't have a problem with that. That means that he's the one providing everything for the household. So what happens then if that goes on for years and he allows it to go on for years, it means that he accepts that responsibility. And so when she then goes to court, if it don't work out and say, well, we're accustomed to living this lifestyle, which is what some people do. So y'all got to be careful. This is why I'm saying you have to be careful with the decisions that you make if it's something that you don't want to sustain over time. If you want her to get up and go to work, then tell her, look, I need some help. I can't, you know what I mean? Like sometimes,
but a lot of guys say the opposite. No, I want you to stay home. I want you to
complain later.
Right. Agreed.
You gotta pay.
If you say that, agreed. If you say that, then if you say no, I want you home raising the kids, then you're saying I want you to do that job. Then you're right. You've cut off her earning ability. So she deserves it.
What if she was working? What if your spouse works and y'all both taking care of the household?
Then that's good. That's good.
That is good. But when the situation breaks down, you need a prenup.
But I think one of the things Francella said though that made a lot of sense though is when she said that everything, if the clock starts from the day that you get married, all of the assets accumulated after that marriage date, then that's on the table.
Y'all gotta split it half. That's only fair.
You know, if you come in with something and you get married in 2000 and I bought something in 95, then that's not a marital asset. So I can see something like that.
I have a little bit of an issue with that is, let's say
you hit the $800 million.
Let's say the man is making double what the wife is making, right? They both work. Just as a figure, throw it out there. Let's say the man make 200,000 and the woman is only making 100,000, right? Why should she be entitled to the same half when the man makes double what she makes?
For better or for worse? For better or for worse?
You knew going there.
Hey,
you knew going there.
Bring it down there. I don't know what to tell you. You blessed. You had a better job opportunity. I mean, it is what it is. Because basically it's a man's world. So like you guys are more in the
corporate, making more anyway.
They men are more in higher positions in the corporate world, right? So you're going to be making more money than a female counterpart in most cases, right? So it is what it is. Like, okay, you made 200, she made 100. Y'all still got to split it down the middle.
But I do think in all fairness that it should be a happy medium.
No. Why, Lynette? Because their lifestyle is built.
Right. That's what they're basing it on. Right.
And her 100K. So now
I see.
Go and dub down to her 100K of living what she was used to.
Right.
I see. Right. That custom thing.
Come on, y'all. Come on. I told y'all to debate y'all all day, all night. Bring another something in.
You say what, Night? What'd you say, Night?
I said, any man within the sound of my voice, just know you need a prenup.
I totally agree 100%. I think it's one of the smartest things that you can do, because if you don't, and it doesn't work out, God forbid, or sometimes things happen, then you find yourself in situations where like Knight said, well, like TL said, sometimes the court system is unfair.
I just think that I agree with what Francella said, but I just think that going in and just knowing how women are, some women, what do you mean you want me to sign this? You know, you
got an ulterior motive.
I mean,
you agree with Franchella?
Yeah, no. I mean, that everything starts from the date. Listen,
you such a hater, TL. You such a hater.
You didn't let me finish. You don't know what I'm talking about. You know what I'm talking about?
That's bad business, bro.
Do you know what I'm talking about?
Come on, elaborate.
I agree with Franchella that it should start with the assets from the date that you were married. Everything after that date. I agree with that part.
Even if you, like I said, even if the husband makes double what the wife makes.
Well, some marriages only last 6 months. So you got married again now. Like, I don't know your age, but like people get married in their 50s, their 60s, whatever. You already built all of this pension money, all of whatever your savings, all that is yours. And then anything for that 6 months of that marriage lasts, or that year that it lasts, y'all just gotta split it. It is what it is.
Lynette, no, 6 months.
Would you sign a prenup?
No.
I'm saying I've seen marriages even in the celebrity world. Even in the celebrity world, some marriages didn't last that long.
I don't think that you've invested enough time in 6 months to have half of my assets. I'm sorry. We still boyfriend and girlfriend. For real.
Wait a minute. I missed the question. The question was, Lynette, would you sign a prenup?
Absolutely.
Oh, okay.
I would encourage it. I would encourage it.
I don't need one. I'm good over here, but I would encourage it. I would say that, you know, a lot of people should, if they're coming in with a lot, if they build on their own.
Nothing wrong with that.
But there's a lot of people who ain't got shit. Like, so it is what it is.
But you got to think about it on the other end too. You might be with somebody who ain't got shit, and then you want him to have your shit when
exactly. Well, that's what we said, though. I mean, there's nothing wrong with a prenup. You know, there's nothing wrong with a prenup.
Oh, now you switching on me, Stacey.
No.
You said you agree with Franchella.
Terry, I said the clock should start from the day you get married. Any assets accumulated prior to your marriage should be off the table.
Exactly.
I said the same thing.
See, that's part of your problem, Terry. You don't listen.
Whoa.
He listen. He's trying to change his mind.
All right. So how we looking? Oh, we
winding down.
We never on no time clock. This is Real Recognized Real. We can go all night for real. Like,
talk about hot topic.
You say night?
They was doing a lot on that, like throwing my man on the ground. And,
the other story, Tyreek Hill, the NFL player.
I'm not even surprised anymore. Like, nothing even shocks me anymore. I mean, you know what I mean? I mean,
if they knew he was an NFL player before they did that, do you think he would have got a different treatment or the same?
Absolutely.
They were in front of the stadium.
Right.
So how do, like, it's Tyreek Hill and you in Miami? How do you not know who that is?
I mean, you
don't know that's Tyreek Hill until you snatch him out the car and you get identification.
He had lowered the window down and gave him the license, and then he rolled the window back
Some
up.
people don't. I ain't know who he was.
Right.
But you don't live in Miami either.
Well, that's true
You're
too.
Not in front of the stadium,
everybody don't follow football.
Right. I don't know everybody on the Eagles probably outside there unless they got a uniform on. They look different.
Teammates and other people riding up like, yo, that's Tyreek Hill.
That was after the incident occurred. Then they was pulling up after he got snatched out the car and thrown on the ground.
Yeah. Well, they're gonna pay the price for it.
The video?
They just saw, like your mom said, they just saw a black man in a fancy car and wanted to, you know what I'm saying? They was hating on him. So
it's a shame that we.
Well, they're gonna pay the price for that though, because his lawyer said his lawyer is Rosenstein or something like that. He said he's gonna pursue it. Rosenfield, that agent. So they're gonna pay the price for that if they did anything wrong.
Hurts in Philadelphia on 95 in front of the stadium, right? Or on Patterson Avenue going to the stadium. You don't think them cops knew who he was? They're specifically assigned to that area because they you see those traffic cones that they were talking about? Those traffic cones that you saw in the video, that was
Right.
leading into the stadium. So
Right.
those cops
Right.
was
So
assigned
let's
there.
say that it could have been somebody who was going to the game. So I'm gonna ask you a question. Who does CJ Gardner Johnson play for?
C.J. Gardner Johnson.
CJ Gardner Johnson.
He used to play for the Eagles.
Who does Cam Jurgens play for?
Used to play for the Eagles.
Oh, so you know a little bit. You know a little bit. Everybody don't. My whole point is everybody don't know that. Like the man is not the quarterback. He ain't the quarterback.
You said that
If
Gardner
he was the
Johnson.
quarterback, then maybe
C.J. Gardner Johnson. Yeah, he played for the Eagles.
Right. You know, but everybody don't. That's my whole thing.
Right.
Well, everybody, but he know that because we all heard you say we were an Eagles player.
I heard you say that, Lynette. He heard you. he heard you say it.
All right.
Yeah.
But I gotta get my snacks and I gotta get ready for the debate.
Yeah.
All right. It's an unfortunate situation. Make sure that y'all watch the debate tonight. Which channel is it on? TL, what channel is it on, TL?
Oh, I don't even know. I ain't even really know it was on today.
It comes on at 9 o'clock.
Get ready to get on here, and I seen something.
I think it's like ABC or something. I think it's ABC, I believe.
So make sure y'all watch the presidential debate just so y'all can make an informed decision about the candidate that you want to choose. You only have two to choose from.
Did y'all know Delaware voted today?
They do have like a
early voting.
Early voting, right.
Oh, did they vote today?
Yep.
Oh, all right. Well,
okay.
And it's very close. It's very close.
I'm in Delaware and I missed it.
So make sure you watch the debate, because as they say, if you're not informed, if you're not at the table, you're on it. So pay attention, get informed, do your research. Or there's nothing wrong with asking someone that's following if you're not sure. There's nothing wrong with that. At least if you know that you have the same similar principles as someone else, there's not an issue with leaning on that person. But the bottom line is be informed. Be informed.
Right. And Tony said you need to watch, Terry, because we're gonna
question you on the next show about how you feel.
Because they black. If somebody say something,
as you shouldn't. Nobody should.
Somebody say something that has some substance, or some policy issues that I agree with, then I'm for it. But just because you out here in these streets, or
no, I don't care. I don't care if the person.
I don't care if you black, white, Puerto Rican, or whatever you are.
Right. It doesn't matter what your color is on for this Democratic. I'm voting for you because this is the only election that to me is the most important because of the division that Trump has put on this nation. I didn't vote. I'm not a Republican. I am a Democrat at heart. But if a Republican, their views, I was more for their views, even though I was a Democrat, I would have voted for the Republican. And I always respected any prior Republican president except for Trump. He's the devil. I'm sorry, he's the devil. So
this one's different.
It's very
different. We say that about every election.
No, we didn't. No, not like this. This is different.
No, we don't. No, we don't.
This is different.
Every 4 years, we hear the same stuff.
No, you don't. Not at all.
Not like
we did because
watch it.
Because Trump keeps running. So yes, you've been hearing it probably for the last 8 years because Trump keeps running. So once we get rid of his ass, then I think everybody will be okay. We'll
watch it.
Even before Trump was running, all right.
All I ask is that you have an open mind and please watch it so that we can continue this conversation when we have a next show.
Yes, right. Yep.
All right. So thank everybody for tuning in to the Real Recognize Real Talk radio show. Of course, I have a little bit more announcements, but then I'll let y'all go. So make sure y'all support Rick Watson's upcoming play, What's Done in the Dark Comes to Light, September the 22nd at the Philadelphia Ethical Society. Tickets are $35. You can call 215-869-35.
Wait, are you in it? Are you in it?
I'm not in it, but I'm showing my support. One of the seniors
we need some money from these sponsors.
Oh.
Where you advertisement,
right? I know it is.
I'm on camera.
Ebony, my friend Ebony is in a play, continuation of Conversation with Sisters. It's October the 26th, 7 p.m. At Gloucester Township, New Jersey. The tickets are on Eventbrite. Also, September the 29th. Now, I will be at this event, September the 29th. Support local Black entrepreneurs at American Legion Post, September the 29th from 12 to 6 to 2111 West Tioga Street at the American Legion Post. So make sure y'all come out and support Black entrepreneurs.
Yes.
Right. Okay.
Thank y'all for tuning in to the Real Recognized Real Talk Radio Show. We tuning out. I'm Lynette, the co-host, and
I'm Stace, co-host.
And I'm TL, the co-host.
And the hostess with
the hostess with the mostest.
All right.
Talk to y'all.
Take care.
Y'all next time. But yeah, I promise I'm gonna watch the debate. So
nice. We'll talk about it. All right.
All right.
Thank y'all for tuning in.
Good night.
Good night.
Have a great week.